Whenever you're ready.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about how you guys first met.
I'm trying to.
Well, I was going to a radio school in Los Angeles to become a radio announcer. And she came to the school visiting a friend of hers. And I saw her, and I gave her that look, and I got a look back, and there she was, and we just started talking, and then her friend, kind of a boyfriend,
Not a boy.
came up, and
Just a friend.
we all started talking, and then we all decided to go on a double date together. So he was going with her, and I was going with a blind date.
Oh.
We went to Santa Monica. On the way home, we changed seats. So Patty and I got together, and the other guy was
George.
stuck with my blind date. So anyway, then she asked me over for lunch one day at her house, and that was beautiful, and I was hooked. So,
Was it love at first sight?
well, I think that's kind of romantic to say that, but maybe second sight.
Yeah, I think so. Then we were married 4 months later.
4 months later. Now, how did you propose to her?
That's funny. We talk to this day, we can never remember anybody proposing to anybody.
When it was the first time that something was, it was just, we got closer and we never talked about that.
We just
a
started
lot.
talking about getting married,
And then, you know, I don't know. I don't remember.
but I never went to her father or to ask, or I never got down on my knees or
No.
tried to surprise her with some. But we just all of a sudden we're going to do it, and
Yeah.
it just happened that way. So.
And tell me about your wedding day. What was that like?
Oh well, the wedding day.
It was the Episcopal
The
Church.
wedding, the wedding, not the wedding day, but on our going away for our honeymoon, we were going to St. Francis Hotel up in San Francisco. Made the reservations, and we drove all the way up there. We walked into the counter. They didn't have a reservation. Couldn't get in. She started crying, went to the manager.
Well, that's how I feel. You can't do that. I wasn't putting on a show.
But the crying did it. We got a room.
Yeah.
That's great.
It wasn't a especially great room, you know, didn't have any view or anything, but,
No, but
We got
we got in. No, that was.
and we thought that was the nicest hotel to stay. We just had decided that, and we had made a reservation. I think I made it, and they didn't have it. So I didn't talk to the right person or something.
Was that the day of your marriage that you went?
That was the
few
day
days.
after. The day after.
And
We,
when did you get married? October
Yeah, October 4th.
October 4th
1940?
at a October 4, 1946.
And where'd you get married?
Episcopal Church in Los Angeles. I can't tell you the address. But it was
And how many kids do you have?
2
Two
kids.
children. Okay.
boy and a girl. They're both wonderful.
But I remember after the wedding, we're walking out of the church, and some guy said to me, he said, "Did you pay the minister?" And I said, I don't know anything about that. He said, "Well, yeah, you got to give the minister some money." So I went back and gave him $10 and left.
Oh my gosh.
That was a lot of money then.
That was a lot of money then, right?
Yeah,
That's a lot of bucks back
They
in the
did.
day.
But I don't know why I didn't know the
Yeah,
routine.
you think my folks would have said something.
Yeah.
But we were not religious people. We were Episcopal, but
Yeah.
that's just,
Yeah.
And your parents, both your parents were okay with you getting married? Did you approve? Your parents
Oh
approved?
yeah, that was never a
thought,
problem.
it's time. She's ready. Obviously, she cares about it. If they
I
weren't.
think they're very happy to get her out of the house.
Oh.
Yeah.
How old are you guys?
22.
Both 22.
Both 22.
And that's me 3 months older.
Oh, older woman. And so, well, okay, so you've been 69 years. Well, so what's the secret? What's the key to a long, happy marriage?
Oh, that's easy. That's
He's a wonderful, wonderful man.
no. Her attitude is the key to success in a marriage, and she has it. She has. She's always.
Thank you.
Well, she is. She's always upbeat and positive, and she's just the way she is. And I can do no wrong, so she thinks I'm a great guy, and then so let it go. It's okay.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Any bumps in the road or anything, and how did you deal with them?
We didn't have any problems.
You're
No
just as happy
particular.
as you
Well,
look,
she
right?
Oh, yeah.
once she demanded to have a new dress, so that was
When was that? I don't remember.
I couldn't afford it.
We couldn't afford much
No,
for a while.
we've been very lucky with our marriage. Our kids are great. They've never had a drinking problem, a drug problem, a school problem, or they're all great. They get along. They have fine kids, and
Yeah. We've just
our
been
son
fortunate.
and a daughter both have had long marriages. We don't have any divorces in the family, and so we are. And it's the lady that makes it happen.
That's very nice.
That's so sweet. And what advice would you have for people now getting married or who are married and kind of have issues? What would you tell them? And what's the
Gosh.
Well, it's some obvious answers. The give and take. And you can't say, I want this and I want that, and why can't I do this? And but if I had to just point one thing for our marriage anyway, it depends on the wife to make it work. And,
Well, that's very nice to hear, but
and she did, and she does. She's always telling me how much she loves me, and it drives me
well,
crazy.
I like to say that.
what are some of the highlights of your time together? Give me a couple, really memorable moments.
Golly.
Well, we traveled a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We've been all over the world, and in so doing, we took a lot of pictures, and I eventually put those pictures into a show, a slideshow.
Mm-hmm.
And it became quite elaborate. I had 2 projectors and the dissolve and the fading in and fading out, and we had the narration and the indigenous music wherever we have been. And so we put on these shows to organizations around the country.
Yeah.
We would fly back to Tennessee or Kentucky or Colorado or whatever and put on these shows to organizations. And when we belonged to the Springs Country Club, to Sunrise Country Club, I put on shows 3 times a year there for 9 years. And
we both did the
narration.
narration.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So it was a nice project that you worked on together.
Pardon?
It was a nice project that you worked on together.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, he did everything except I did when
And then our
little narrations.
experiences in our motorhome was
Oh.
wonderful. Because there's such freedom in a motorhome.
Any funny stories?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, I suppose there are, but I should have had a little preparation for that. But no, I don't think anything that would be.
I can't think
After,
of anything
after
special.
you leave, I'm sure I'll think of.
And you can always call me up with stuff too.
Okay.
Well, yeah, if we think of something.
Absolutely, we
Yeah.
got time because this is coming out to Valentine's Day. Well, how about, what's the most romantic thing that he's done for you or you've done for him? What are some of the little romantic things that are kind of cute? Or do you have any little cute things you do now?
I tell him I love him often. It's just something I do. I want to. I feel it, and so it's something I say it a lot.
And I say, yes, dear.
He's not the talker that I am. I'm just that kind of a talker.
It's a good fit. Any questions that,
No.
did you have anything?
Is there anything else you two want to add that we didn't ask you?
Yeah.
Yeah, put it over.
Yeah,
Right,
but,
right,
yeah,
that's
you,
always
you get the floor. Yeah.
Well, we had some very good times down here in Palm Springs when we were just married.
Oh.
That was.
Yeah.
We lived in little converted barracks, war barracks on
Yeah.
Ramon Road,
Oh.
and
And
$65 a month. And it was a one a one-room kitchen with a bedroom. And
Yeah, and the bath.
I remember when the wind blew, the sand would come in through the cracks of the doors, and we'd have
It
little,
had-
little mounds of sand inside our entry.
It had been used by the military, you know, during World War II. So then they fixed it up so people could rent a room, and that's what we had.
That's cool. Yeah, so you started out from here. I mean, that's a lot of the couples back in the day did, right? Come out of the war and just start kind of almost just from scratch, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I had roots here in high school. I came here in 1937 and went to Francis S. Stevens Elementary School. I think that's now a kind of a cultural center now
Yeah.
on Palm Canyon Drive. So that was 37, so I went through school there and then high school. And of course that was just me. Then after the war I met Patty, then we came back.
Yeah.
And that's when I got my job at KCMJ as one of the first radio announcers there and
Right.
the first staff. And that was fun because I would then, well, I'm getting off into what I was doing. I don't want to do that.
That's-
So, and what were you like, they say like you're traditional, like, when I grew up, my dad worked and my mom stayed at home. Did you have kind of the traditional type marriage back in the day?
Oh, yeah, I'd say. And my family was traditional. Actually, my dad didn't have a job. He worked when I was a little kid, tiny, like 3 years old, for Burroughs
adding machine company.
Burroughs Adding Machine Company. And he was going up high and doing very well before the Depression, which is when I was a tiny child, 3 years old or something like that. And so they couldn't pay him anymore, the whole thing. So they decided, this was in Chicago where I was born. Stayed till I was about 3, I guess. And then he said, well, heck, they're not paying me like they were, things aren't. So he wanted to move back to his home, Los Angeles, where his mother lived, my grandma. And we moved in with her until we bought a house. They bought a house, 412 South Citrus Avenue, 3rd Street School,
Wow.
John Burroughs Junior High.
John Burroughs. Oh, what did you do on your first date? Talk about your first date.
First date?
That's the bowling. We went bowling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
she claims to this day that she beat me, and I don't know why she says that, because she could even put the ball down the alley. But for some reason, she has it in her mind that she beat me bowling,
So that's our one problem.
and that was, of course, the very first time we're together when we went to the beach, double dating with this guy,
Yeah,
and
that's-
I was with this other girl,
Yeah.
and she was with the other guy, and then at the beach, then we
You switched?
Yeah, we did.
turned
What
around.
beach was that?
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica
Yeah.
Beach?
Yeah.
Did you kiss her like on the first date?
No, are you kidding?
How long did it take you for the first kiss?
Oh, I don't know. She's a pretty straight girl.
You had to wait till the honeymoon and all that too?
Well, a kiss. No, we could kiss pretty good.
Oh, my.
Did you remember what bowling alley you two went to?
Oh, that would have been impossible. It was in Los Angeles. That's
Los Angeles.
sorry, we can't.
No.
If you want to make up a name, I'll swear to it.
We'll have to look at that picture really closely.
Yeah, maybe there's
Yeah.
a clue.
Of us sitting in the little,
Yeah.
I don't think you could tell.
Now I know this is kind of a tacky question, but a lot of couples as they get older, they have separate bedrooms. Do you guys still sleep in the same bedroom together?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Our first bedroom,
Oh.
not our first bedroom,
First one
but
we,
shortly after we were married, we couldn't find a place to stay. This was in '46 in Los Angeles, and we finally found a place in Glendale, a converted detached garage they made into a bedroom.
that we were going to rent.
It was just a one-car garage with a bed, no water, no toilet.
That's true.
We had a 3-drawer chest and a standing cardboard
Closet.
closet
Yeah.
in cardboard. And that's was our home.
And to
And-
go to the bathroom, we had to go in to their house, out the little backyard. And I remember one night, we had to go through their living room to get to the bathroom. They only had one bathroom, and so, well, they weren't my friends, so it didn't bother me a lot, you know. But we'd have to, you know, or by ourselves, want to walk in. I remember, go, here's the bathroom. We get there a little while, and come on out, go back into the garage.
How long did you live there?
Matter of months.
A few months, yeah.
So it's kind of, it's all about the love that gets you through. It doesn't matter the circumstances,
Yeah.
it seems like, as long as you're together and.
Yeah. There's nobody I'd prefer to be with.
The first home we ever had after we were married that was really ours was a little 900 square foot home in Northridge.
Oh, yeah. That was,
2-bedroom, 1 bath. We paid no money down and had payments of $57 a month.
yeah. I guess. That's
What year was
because
that?
that was for anyone who had been in the service.
Yeah.
What year was that? Was that,
That would have been 1950. We stayed with their mother and father for several months at one time before we had that house. And they're very kind to us and never had any problems.
and what are you gonna do for your 70th anniversary? Do you have any plans?
Don't have plans. I haven't
You know,
thought-
that came up on our 60th anniversary, what to do. And we decided not to do any one thing. We thought we'll do a series of things, which we did. We went down to San Diego, got on the boat to go to Hawaii and spend a few days over there. And then we did something else and went to Las Vegas for a week. This is spread out over a year. So that was celebrating that way, doing a variety of things, not just a big party or something like that. And we might do something like that. We haven't decided yet. But we're not anxious. It's different now. We're quite content right here. And I guess that reflects our who we are and what we've done. So
Very cool. Excellent.
Yep.